Ooh, and we lost so bad. No, so bad. That is our Chinese caster. It's all good. It's all good. In a way, I guess I'm glad I'm not the only one that struggled a little bit that night. But here we go. Spawning in the top left-hand corner of Whispers of Gold, we have the blue Protoss player. Representing Psystorm Gaming from land of Denmark, it is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom right-hand corner, we have the red Terran player representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Land of France. Here we go. Now we have seen many an aggressive build and one base or even one base all-ins out of Clem on Whispers of Gold. The reason for this is because of the size of the map and how vulnerable the third bases and the natural is as well. Unlike on other maps, 1, the rush distance by ground is very short, 2, there's no ramp coming into the natural, there's no ramps coming into the third base or the fourth base as well. There is a wide ramp here at the triangular third, that is true, but it's very wide, and there's multiple entrances here as you can knock down those rocks and reduce time it takes to get across the map even further by knocking those rocks down. So aggression is favored on Whispers of Gold, and we often get shorter games. We often get shorter games as a result. It is going to be a double gas opener out of Clem. Clem already going for a delayed CC, already going for a faster factory. Now what we're waiting for is what happens after the factory and what add-ons do we go for. Do we go for a factory into starport, into one base all in? That is viable, that is an option here, and we've seen that before from Clem. He could just go factory into a CC. We'll see if he goes for a reactor into reactor Reaper Hellion. We'll see if he goes for an early tech lab. We'll see how he does pieces all together, because Clem, he has options. Now MaxPax, he does confirm the opener. As you can see here, he didn't see the gases themselves, but he saw the gas mining. Like, he saw the workers mining and delivering gas to the base. So MaxPax is aware. He pulls back, and we'll see if MaxPax can get vision on what the Terran is up to as Clem is scouting. Clem, he checks the linear third base, looking for a pylon, being secure. Likewise, getting a second Reaper. Does get a second Reaper, is getting a safety Hellion here. Now it looks like it's going to be a light commitment into Reaper Hellion. Just the initial 2 Reapers. From here should be going into, oh, never mind, a third Reaper. Okay, triple Reaper, double Hellion. So a little bit more aggressive here from Clem. Clem going for the CC on the high ground, but typically if you're committing this hard into Reaper Hellion, the goal here is to gain map control, but also get economic damage. Is to bust into a mineral line, get past the army, and try to get some probe kills. Meanwhile, ooh, nice setup here on that Adept. Yeah, shots going off. Reapers, they actually outrange the Adept, so free shots. Ooh, and the Adept does go down. Nice cleanup here from Clem. So he's getting that second Reaper, sorry, that second Hellion, and then he's moving out. Here come the add-on swap follow-up. From here we can go into early tank production, early Cyclone production, or we can go for an add-on swap into Banshees. Keep an eye here. It is going for the medevac, going for the drop. Not going for Banshee play. Meanwhile, we have a full wall here at the natural. Clem trying to find his way in, is denied. We do have a Twilight Council in the main base, going to be a blink-based opener out of MaxPax. And Clem is moving out with his drop. For the medevac going for the Cyclone. Once again, Clem, he's being very assertive here, very aggressive. He's just now taking his own natural. Again, is a later expansion. And Clem, he shouldn't go in yet. He should be waiting for his reinforcements. Doesn't want to throw any units away so far. Doesn't want to bleed anything else off. From here, getting to his early tank production. Second rack's on the way. Building up his fire. Here comes the medevac. And we'll see if MaxPax can keep up. So we're going for a split push. In the main base, we have a couple Stalkers, so MaxPax is ready. Does open up 3-gate blink. Cyclone has arrived. MaxPax is ready for it. Does focus down that Cyclone. Cyclone, oh my god, almost goes down, gets a Stalker, and pulls away. Does pull away. Nice defense out of MaxPax. Clem does trade more efficiently, killing a Stalker. And behind this, building up his tanks, going for a Liberator follow-up. Maintaining map control for now, which is a rare sight. It's typically often or normal to see the Protoss player, especially with blink-based openers, to gain map control instead. But here, it's Clem with control. That map control does dive in, gets eyes on the third. Keeping MaxPax pinned, going for the Adept. Nice pickup. Will lose a Reaper. One Reaper goes down. Still a nice trade for Clem. Pulls away for the time being. He's ready with his tanks. He's got one tank in the main, one tank in the natural. He also, of course, did scout that third. And Clem, he should be moving out with Stim. He should be staying at home at least until Stim finishes, then he can break out and be active on the map. Until then, MaxPax, he is free to saturate. Checking his vision, MaxPax, he did see Stim being researched. Did see the production setup. And you can see him just recheck. Poking a little bit further in. Now, MaxPax is going for the standard follow-up, and I do really like this in this position. MaxPax, he has been stuck at home, but he is working towards charge. Working towards the Forge and +1. Now, this is designed to punish an aggressing Terran player. It can be a little bit riskier if MaxPax had gone for Colossus, just because Colossus they take a little bit longer to really get online, and the ground army is weaker as a result. But if Clem were to push out sooner, well then we should be having mass charge all ready for him. Clem is moving out. Charge not yet done. And this is going to be close. The Liberator gets across the map. Nice positioning. Probes are going to be going down. Likewise, Hailing Reaper towards the third base. More probes going to be falling. And again, charge isn't finished yet. Stim is 10 seconds away. Oh no, the Prism! Oh, Prism goes down. Massive pickup. Stalker's getting caught out, and MaxPax is getting pulled apart here. 9 probe kills. Ay, ay, ay. Clem, he doesn't commit. He pulls away. I mean, if he did, he would have run into this army with charge. So Clem playing it safe. Again, respecting the army composition here of MaxPax. As we mentioned, MaxPax, he wanted the tank army to commit into him. MaxPax would have shut him down. So Clem pulls away. He's content with his economic damage. Finds still a run by. So Clem is reinforcing. Third CC is on the way. He's not going for a 2-base all-in. And there's posturing. Does spot the Stalkers. Will react. Oh. Will react in time. And he is still moving out. This does feel risky here from Clem, not gonna lie. As we have how many Zealots? 10. Okay, not too many. 10 charges, now 12. As we go here from MaxPax. Oh, bleeds out a Stalker. First Colossus has arrived. Tanks getting within range. Ooh, massive tank shots. Yeah, the tanks are sieged. Massive volleys on the army. You can see here Clem trying to bait the army within range of the tanks. Trying to bait MaxPax out. MaxPax is getting ready for a flank. Or even just a run by. Decent force fields. Clem gets another Stalker. And Clem is keeping his reinforcements at home. He's ready for the run by. He's ready for those Zealots, or at least he should be. As Zelsay turn back around. Again, nice force fields catching. Oh my god! 2 of those Marauders. I'll pick up there by Clem. Goes to the double drop. He gets spotted. MaxPax does react in time. Well, Clem able to unload again. Shout out to this Observer. Did catch that medevac. MaxPax going for the natural, but there's a bunker. There's reinforcements. Clem is ready. This double run by does nothing. And Clem he unsieges. He turns back around. He did get some nice value here, picking off some gateway units. And Clem, I want to say he lost 3 Marauders. He lost like 3 Marauders in this push, and the Widowmine. So very nice attack. Clem he pulls away. pulls away, sets up back at home, establishes his third base. Likewise, MaxPax getting his fourth up and running. Now the momentum is shift. Now we have Colossus, so MaxPax, he has map control. Clem is now the defender, but he does sneak out with a medevac drop. I'll sneak out. Once again, he's ready. We've got 3 Widow Mines here to deal with this. Marine Drill comes in. MaxPax did miss this. No major damage. Gets a pylon. Gets 2 probes. Still keeping MaxPax busy. Clem back at home. He's building up, getting into 2-2, getting into his own Ghost Academy. I'm a little bit concerned about the tank positions. The tanks are very exposed, so the amount of value they can really gain is quite limited here, as they might be the first to go down in a fight. I guess it depends on the positioning. Rocks, they get taken out. Max actually pulls away for now, getting a second robo, getting ready for a double disruptor production. Building up into disruptors, getting +3. Both players are about to max out, and we'll see what kind of army composition they're working with. So far, we have 9 Vikings for Clem. He's got a solid Viking count. That is, of course, to deal with the Colossus. Meanwhile, ghosts are on the way. How many ghosts? Not many. It's going to be 3. It's going to be 3 ghosts for Clem. So, because of the limited ghost count that he has right now, he has to make those EMPs count. Tanks are repositioning. Trying to keep up with the rotations. MaxPax going for the 4th. Tank's going to be a little bit late to siege. Oh, but it does take down the first Colossus. Very nice. Gets the first Colossus. Likewise, Prism in between the bases, headed for the main. And Clem out of position. And MaxPax, he finally gets in. The base will survive back at home. We just some reinforcements. DT getting into the mineral lines. Clem, he shuts down the main army, getting another Colossus, getting all 3. Oh my god. Takes down all 3 Colossus. MaxPax, he overextended. He lost far too much here in that push. MaxPax distracting himself, going for that run by. He does get some SCVs, but not worth it, not good enough. And Clem, he's max. And MaxPax, he plummets 50 supply. That is crazy. Oh my god. He lost everything there. These tanks, they traded very well. Again, MaxPax pushing into the tanks, pushing within tank range. Pushing within Viking range, that was not it. Yeah, MaxPax losing 3 Colossus, 2 Immortals, and 30 Zealots in that push. For barely anything. For a handful of Vikings and 2 Marauders. Nova doesn't connect, nice splits there by Clem. Second Nova goes off, no connection. There's only 2 disruptors. 1 disruptor is going to go down, another one comes in to reinforce. There's 1 more Nova. But Clem, he might just have too much at this point. Even if it connects, it may not matter. Clem is moving in, takes out another disruptor. There's 2 left. Once again, no major connection. Clem, he stims in, tanks do siege. There's the final Nova. Takes out maybe a Marine, grazes the army. Yeah, not enough. Not enough here. The 4th base is going to be broken. And Clem, he's snowballing out of control. Zealots, they come in from behind, catching out the Vikings, not bad. But at this point, Clem, he can afford to throw them away. Force chases down. Forced to respond. MaxPax buying time. Here come those Novas. That's little Novas. Oh, he stims in. Oh, dusts him in. Crazy move, takes the Novas to the face. And MaxPax, he holds. Ooh, he does hold on. Again, nice connections. Charge looks like coming from behind. Catching out their ghosts. Massive pickups. And MaxPax, he may have lost an expansion, may have lost all his Colossus, but he's still in this. He's still in this game. He's built up his disruptor count up to 4, soon to be up to 6. Retaking that 4th expansion, or I should say 5th at this point. So let's have top right. Whew, okay. We have a game. We're in this. MaxPax, he survives. And the game will continue. Clem getting to 3-3. We have 3-3 on the way, working towards Liberators. MaxPax keeping up with the drops. Of course, the Observer does spot this. Despite that, MaxPax in position in time. Does defend. Likewise, his army is split. Disruptors, they do defend. Okay, that's a lot of disruptors. That's a lot of balls back. A lot of balls. What was that? Observer finally goes down to spin their all game. MaxPax has to respond to this. Trying to split up his army. Okay, that's a lot of charge lots. MaxPax, he will deflect. Catching out Marines, Marauders, second army comes in. Clem going for top right. It's pure disruptors for defense. Clem, I'm sure he's tempted to stim in. There's the recall. There's the recall. Clem, he pulls away. Does pull away. Oh, almost caught out. And Demon Effect falls. Both armies are max. Clem not quite in position. Oof. Going up. Clem trying to hold on here. He's pushing into how many disruptors? 9. Oh my god. Clem getting the concave though, catching out disruptor. He gets caught instead. Massive connection. Clem gets caught. And is that enough? Clem out of position. Zelsay busts into the mineral line. CC's under fire. Getting 12 SCVs. Yeah, we've hit critical mass of disruptors. Oh my god. Getting more connections. Liberator late to siege. Novas, they take out the ghosts. And Clem is building out far too much, far too quickly. Building out 16 SCVs. And down to what, 3 ghosts. Whew. He does hold. He is holding behind this, trying to get into more Liberators. You can see he is mid-transition into Libs. And that will slow the game down. Like, right now, there's no good answer for Liberators. We have Mass Blink Stalker, which has potential, but not ideal. Especially as Liberator count gets higher. So Clem, he needs a little bit more time. Getting to +3. It's 3 ship weapons. Again, he needs those libs. Wait, is he on 1 starport? No shot. Ooh, that is slowing him down. Only 1 starport for Clem. At this point, he should have 2. So he's being slowed down. Liberators are going down one after the other. Novas A thrown away. We do see Clem trying to force a reaction. And pulling MaxPax back. Oh. As we do land a massive connection. Ay. Clem, he does deny the expansion at least. Oh. He does pull away. Just trying to alleviate all that pressure. And without Liberators, getting up to 9+ disruptors can be very, very oppressive. As the Novas just don't stop. Now he's building up his Liberator count. Sieging up 2 of them. Does hold the line. Gets 1 disruptor, gets 2. Takes down 2, once again denies the expansion. Clem takes this fight. And he's going for a massive Doom drop. Bold move here by Clem. That Observer wasn't replaced. MaxPax, he barely does spot this. Trying to react, trying to respond. There is a recall. But Liberators are sieging. MaxPax out of position. The tech is under fire. And MaxPax is going for the base trade. Oh, but it's a late base trade here. The main base is already going down. Yeah, late base trade here by MaxPax is just now moving on. Just now trying to hit a 4th base. All the production is falling. As he depowers the gateways, cleans up the Dark Shrine, the Forge, the Bay. Sorry, Bay here at the natural. Under fire. Fourth base goes out for Clem. Lose the third. Trying to make a stand, trying to buy some time. It is natural. Novas, they throw back the army. Clem, he does force back the Protoss, though. It forces back MaxPax, and now everything at the natural is also going to be falling. MaxPax, he abandons the natural, going for the fifth. There's a lot of CCs here. We'll bring this down, and bearing in mind that MaxPax still has an economy. He has no tech, he has no production, but he has mining. He can always rebuild. For the most part. As Clem, he's scanning, looking for more bases. Again, there's one robot to produce. MaxPax pulling back. Clem's army is split, but it's about to join forces. With these disruptors, MaxPax, he can take a fight, but he needs them to connect. He needs them to connect here. So far, just owning. He has 6 disruptors, now he has 4. Right, at least 4 Novas available. Clem, he peels off, going for top right. Again, MaxPax, he has no gateways, he can't reinforce, the gateways are depowered. And there's a recall. There's a recall. Clem has to get the hell out of here. That's a blow away. Pushing bottom left. Nice catch here on 3 of these Marauders. Not bad. Again, every unit counts. Clem is overstimmed. He has to back off. He has to pull back to his natural. Bottom left Nexus is going down. And MaxPax, he can deal with half this army. Like, again, Clem, his army split in half, if that. And MaxPax, he can engage a portion at a time. Uh-oh. Clem looking for the surround. It's coming in from both angles. Trying to collapse on the army. He does miss MaxPax. He barely does miss him. Turns back around. Here come the Novas. No mid connections. Gets a ghost. Oh my god, brutal connection, but GG gets called. He gets a full surround, and Clem, he will take game number 1. Whew. GG. GG, well played, Clem. He will take the first game here. Very intense back and forth. Initially, Clem had map control. He was able to assert himself, get some value. Then suddenly, MaxPax had map control. It's very back and forth, very intense. In the end, it did come down to the base trade. As we saw, it was a late base trade out of MaxPax. Unfortunately, because he lost the Observer, so winding it back, that snipe on the Observer may have been the game-winning move for Clem, because that Observer that got sniped outside of the main base never got replaced. It never got replaced, so because of that, MaxPax, he didn't see the Doom drop until it was already in his main. The drop was already in his main base. Because of that, he couldn't recall. The reality is, because of how much was dropped into the main base, if he had recalled, he would lose everything. He would, like, the army that would be recalled would just get surrounded. He will lose everything there, so he could not recall. It was too late for that. He had to make a tough call. It was the base trade, and with that, it was, again, kind of a late base trade here. And even though he was taking down bases, he was taking down some of the economy of Clem. What Clem was doing was crippling the production, the capability, and the tech as well. So MaxPax, he could not replenish his army despite having bases. Like MaxPax, he had more bases and he had better mining than Clem towards the end, but it didn't matter. It didn't matter because he couldn't spend his money. Not spend his money. GG, well played. And with that, we are now getting into game number 2. Going to be loading into ley lines. Whew, let's go. Oh, good. As spawning in the top right-hand corner of ley lines, we have the Danish Protoss player, the blue Protoss, down in the series, but it's the best of 5-5. Plenty more games to come. Can definitely bring it back here. We'll see if he can tie up the series. For Sidestorm Gaming, MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the red Terran player, the red Terran himself, representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. So we are going to be settling in, calming things down. Now, again, we had a lot of aggression. We have a lot of, just aggression on Whispers of Gold. Part of that was because of the size of the map, just because of how small it was, of course. Coming into ley lines, a larger map in the map pool. more defendable as well, so we could see kind of a longer back and forth. There was a lot of what felt like exasperation in that last game between the players, getting very desperate and going for these earlier attacks and committed move outs. Here the game could slow down. Not as heavily as on Amygdala or on, you know, Abyssal Reef or anything like that. But, we could be in for a longer back and forth, which I'm not opposed to. Not opposed to at all. Base trading seems like a throw. Well, I mean, the other option for MaxPax would have been to defend his natural, right? It would have been to like come back and defend his natural, and then it just would have been free damage for Clem anyway. Like, it was just a really rough position for MaxPax. I do think that a lot of it just came down to his map vision and map awareness. As we mentioned, just the fact that he missed the drop, right? That he missed the Doom drop into the main was a huge issue there. And basically there was no way to save the main. You could definitely argue that he could have saved the natural if he had turned back around, but he would have still taken a lot of losses in the process. So I would not call that a throw. Clem dips in. Does dip in so far, denying some mining time. It shouldn't get any damage here as the Adept does pop out, but you know, some nice lost mine time nonetheless. Some okay damage there from Clem. He backs off. Behind this, going for, this time, Reactored Reaper Hellion. Okay. We'll see if he makes an extra wave. We'll see if he does go up to 3 Reapers or up to 5. As Clem, he can double down. Depth shades away. Reapers are amassing. And it looks like, okay, only 3. Only 3 Reapers. He does now switch into Marines. Leading to triple Reaper, double Hellion. First Reaper does get targeted down. He gets one. He's going to get the other for an Adept. Oh my god. MaxPax, he wants that final Reaper. He will not get it. And he will bleed out those Adepts. In the end, Clem, he does gain map control, does move out. He doesn't have enough to really threaten his opponents. MaxPax, he's walling up. He's just walling up here. Robo, gateway, just a full just a full wall. Wants to be secure. And this also signifies that MaxPax is on the ramp. Like, if there's a full wall here, he should be at the cliff face. Clem is aware. Behind this, Twilight counter opener into Blink from MaxPax. Getting up to 3 gates. Yeah, he does have a 3-gate setup once again. Ooh, meanwhile, nice KDA charge. Hellies, they bust into the mineral line. We'll take 2 shots to kill a probe. And so far he gets 2, gets 3. 3 probes go down. And does get a 4th towards the end. Decent damage. Bearing in mind that Reaper Hellion does not scale well into a longer game, so any damage you can trade them for, any probe kills, is always positive here for Clem. So he gets 4 probes. Likewise, he confirms the extra warprints of Stalkers. Even though Clem hasn't seen the tech, he can assume, I mean, he saw all the gateways, he saw all the Stalkers. Following this up with a mine drop. So he does boost in. MaxPax in position. Just getting 1 probe. Nothing major. Likewise, MaxPax moving out. Bearing in mind he has a 3-gate setup. 3 gateways, he has Blink, he's going to be expanding, taking his 3rd base, and we'll see what he can get done. Back at home, very nice SimCity. We have a wall here for Clem, he's got his first tank in the main. The low ground is more exposed, but the second tank is on the way. We'll see what MaxPax can get done. He does Blink in, going for Stim. Yeah, Stim is under fire. Doesn't quite get it. Delays the ranks, but last Stim will survive. And the Clem holds. But he does hold on. So far, so good. Did have to spend an auto turret there, though. Bear that in mind. So 1 less auto turret. Raven out of energy. Stalker's still poking in. MaxPax, of course, saturating his third. And it's going to be on Clem to just be defensive here. He's forced to defend until he finishes his upgrades. Stim, combat shields +1. Once the upgrades finish, then Clem can break out. Till then, Prism into the main. Clem in position. He has his bio army, he has the tank, he deflects the Prism. So far, so good. Clem is holding. He's holding on. Likewise, Clem getting in. Oh! 2 probes and does get away. Very slick moves here out of Clem. Oh my god. Gets 2 probe kills. Does pull away. MaxPax, he pulls back. He pulls back, getting into Storm, getting into Charge. This time MaxPax is going to be delaying his Colossus, prioritizing Storm instead. So a bit of a different follow-up here from MaxPax. Going for the Storm. And we have seen Clem take a lot of storms to the face. It's true. He does like the storms. Getting his third CC. Again, we're still waiting for the upgrades, specifically +1. +1 and combat shields. Observer goes down. Clem, he can finally break out. One wouldn't mind coming back in. Getting one more probe. Finally is going to go down. This time there's no saving it. Clem breaks out, catches out a couple of stalkers. How many? Oh, a 7? No shot. I mean, we weren't quite paying attention. Neither was MaxPax. MaxPax, he got caught with his pants down. He lost every single stalker. 1 stalker survived. Now he's vulnerable. He's very vulnerable here. Now, thankfully, he has Storm, but MaxPax is in trouble. Again, losing all those stalkers across the map. Storm coming in. First Storm, doesn't quite connect. There's 2 storms left. There's 2 storms left here. Again, MaxPax not quite paying attention at the wrong moment, at the wrong time. Storm's going to be coming in. Nice connection on the bio. Oh my god, very nice connection. But charge ults are running out. Marines, they stim in, and MaxPax, is he being broken here and now? Looks like he is. Yeah, the tank survives. The base is under fire. Again, this is a very scrappy hold here for MaxPax because he lost all the stalkers earlier. Oof. Another storm coming off. MaxPax, he holds, but he will lose the 4th. The 4th base goes down, and that's what matters. Clem, he gets what he wanted. And from here, Clem, he is skyrocketing ahead. Right now, Clem, he has the greater economy. MaxPax, he has more probes, but he's long distance mining. Like, his long distance mining, he's not able to make use of that greater probe count. And Clem is not stopping. He's not slowing down. He rallies out. He knows how close he is to breaking MaxPax. We go moving in. How many storms are left? Oh, once again, nice storm. Very juicy connection. As we said before, Clem, he likes taking the storms to the face. So that's something that's going MaxPax's way here. He's surviving. Clem, he pulls away. Does pull away. Armory is now being thrown down into eBay, into +2. MaxPax now diversifying, going into his Bay, going into Colossus. Just investing to that splash damage, retaking that 4th. And again, I was concerned that Clem was going to be able to break the 4th base for a second time, but MaxPax holds. He holds, he survives. Getting into a longer game, MaxPax now has gained map control. And most likely, Clem is going to back off, he's going to calm down, build up, get a 4th CC before moving out. Likewise, MaxPax getting a 5th. Base operational, getting a 5th base. Second rover is on the way for double Colossus production, eventually into Disruptors as well. storms are coming in. Again, that's 3 High Templar in the Prism. I should say 4 High Templar. This time better splits here by Clem. He avoids the first storms. Run by does hit the expansion, but we do have an army in position. Decent feedback on one Ghost. Oh, saves the High Templar. Back at home, Clem defends. Gets his 4th base. Dancing with the army. How many High Templar? 5. 5 High Templar. Both armies are maxed out. Clem, he does have some Vikings. He's gearing up to that. His Colossus production is underway here from MaxPax. Heals up, going for a Zealot run by. Clem will hold. He holds on, punishes some of those Zealots. Colossus moving in. And Clem, he's going for the 4th base. MaxPax out of position. Zealots, they turn around to respond. Massive EMP on the Nexus. Yeah, there's no recall. Brutal EMP. Base goes down. Massive pickup. Storm coming in. And we do get a good connection, but there's no follow-up. There's no follow-up here. The army too far behind. Clem, he gets out. Likewise, MaxPax moving in. Gets a medevac. Takes down the medevac, but there's no storms. There's no storms here. All the High Templar responded earlier. Vikings moving forward. And Clem is maxed. Clem is maxed out. MaxPax pulled apart here. He's trying to hold on, trying to keep up. He needs more time. Needs a little bit more time here for more Immortals, more Storms. Speaking of, Storm comes in. Oh my god. Snipe doesn't connect. Does break free from the snipe. Clem, he rotates. How many had Templar? 5. Okay, so still 5. Storm comes in. Ooh. Nice denial of the snipe. And breaks that lock on. 2 Ghosts go down. Another Storm coming in, the flanking Storms. Clem overextending. Overextends. Decent EMPs. But the Prism goes down. There's not enough Vikings though. Down to 2 Vikings up against 3 Colossus. And MaxPax, he can take this fight. He can force him back. Coming with more High Templar. MaxPax down to 3. 3 High Templar. Again, Clem lost all of his Vikings. He has to rebuild. Making 4 Vikings at a time. Without them, these Colossus, they just do so much. Break through the bunker, another Storm in the fire. And Clem is being patient. He hasn't pulled the trigger yet. Waiting for the concave. At least trying to, but it may just be too much here. Colossus, they break through one of the armies. They get into the mineral line. Clem trying to move in. Massive Storm. Storm pops off. Another Storm as well. And there's not enough fire. Not enough Marines, not enough Marauders. The Colossus are going to go down, but there may just be enough Stalkers. The Stalkers, they hold the line. Yeah, they chase us down. Zealots, they come in to reinforce, and MaxPax, he has done it. He has broken the 3rd base. He has broken the back of Clem. Clem, he has nothing left. Again, he overextended. Not enough Vikings, not enough anti-air. And we're going to have a back and forth. We're going to have a back and forth. As now MaxPax, he can focus on the army. He can focus on the main base. GG gets called. Going for the emote as well. Don't see that too often. And MaxPax will tie things up 1-1. Whew, GG. Does tie things up. We do have that back and forth. Of course, it is a best of 5, so still plenty more games ahead of us. But happy to see here that we are fighting back again. MaxPax able to take a greater fight out in the open. The Colossus were uncontested for so long. It was unfortunate. I want to say that Clem, he had around like 5 Vikings, but they were being stormed upon. They were being targeted down, and without those, the Vikings as a backbone to his army, he had to back off. He bled out too much. GG, well played. Whew. We're now getting into game number 3. Once again, we go to another small map in the map pool. I would say even smaller than Whispers of Gold, actually. This is not a ladder map. It is a TLM. It's an older TLMC map. We're going to be loading into Error Hole. Okay. And we saw how successful Clem was on Whispers of Gold. We'll see if he can replicate that success coming into Arrowhome as well. As spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Blue Protoss, representing Psystorm Gaming, tying up the series 1-1. And we'll see if we can keep that momentum going. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the Red Terran representing Team Liquid, being forced into a tied series. We'll see if he can bring it back. It is Clem. Here we go, and welcome one to Arrowhome. This is a TLMC 17 map, so it is an older TLMC map, but it is a map that we were using in the off-season of EPT. I mean, we still are in the off-season, but before TLMC 20, this is one of the maps that we were incorporating into our maps, or into our tournament map pools, I should say. And this is a rush map. Now, to make up for it being a rush map, there is a ramp. There is a very narrow ramp coming into the natural, so a bit of a more defendable location. Likewise, we have another narrow ramp coming in between the third and the natural as well. So we have a couple of choke points that you can make use of. Likewise, we also have a choke point here in the center of the map as well. But again, these choke points are necessary because of the size. From third base to third base, this is it. Like this, we have one screen separating this third to this third. So it's a very small map. We often see players expand away from each other as a result, but the rush distance by ground is very short. What that means is, it means that aggression is favored. It means that reinforcements arrive that much faster as well. So when it comes to something like 2-base play, 2-base aggression, it can hit even harder and even faster on Arrowhome. We saw something similar on Whispers of Gold, where it did not take long at all to go from base to base or to go from one side of the map to the other. It's very unforgiving, very unforgiving. As a result, we don't really see long late games on Arrowhome. We do see some like mid game, like maybe 3.5 base versus 3.5 base sort of thing, but don't often get further than that. Not often. And they'll scout to the top side of the map. Likewise, Clem opening up double gas into a faster factory, into a delayed TC. Last game, this led into Reactor Reaper Hellion. And we may be going there again as well. And there we go, Reactor Reaper. So this is the same opener 2 games in a row. Last game, Clem did stop at 3 Reapers, if you recall. He does have the option to go up to 5. Second attempt has arrived. The hyenas. Oh wait, what are they called? They're called Lyots. Lyots? Let's go. As it is the same opener as last game, so it's going to be Triple Reaper, Double Hellion. Nothing too major. Likewise, collapsing in, 1 step goes down. Oh! And does take down 2 Reapers. Not the worst trade here from MaxPax. 2 Reapers for 2 Adepts. I mean, I would say still better for Clem. Clem moves out. And just like last game, we got a full wall. Just like last game, a full wall off here. Shield battery as well. MaxPax playing very safe. Last time we did not have that shield battery. Just being as secure as possible. Clem trying to poke at that front door. Behind this, going into his early tank production. Curious to see if we go for the medevac. Okay. Going for the Raven. So tank Raven followed up here by Clem. Is building up. And likewise, MaxPax is opening up Blink. Once again, we have yet to see a Stargate opener. Now, MaxPax, he's no stranger to Stargate openers. He does whip them out, especially on larger maps. If we end up on Amygdala, for example, or a Hellscape, we could see Stargate play there. But on these smaller maps, it is very unsafe. It is very unsafe and very risky to open Stargate. So Twilight Council makes plenty of sense. We've seen 3-gate Blink every game so far, and once again, 3-gate Blink. 3-gate Blink Stalkers out of MaxPax. Meanwhile, Clem, he's got his first tank already here in position. Second tank likewise done as well. MaxPax takes his third, and MaxPax moves out. Let's move out. Clem, he is for the most part in position. We can see MaxPax trying to get behind the gas geysers here. Yep, does a blink pass, gets behind the gas geysers, tank not quite within range. And with that, MaxPax can pick off those Marines. At the same time, Reaper Hellion busts into the mineral line. Ooh, 4 probes going to be going down. Decent damage. Likewise, MaxPax still out of range. How do he has to strike those Marines? Has to back up. Meanwhile, the Hellion's still alive. Still alive, getting into the main. Finally cleaned up, doesn't get any additional probes. But nice damage here from Clem. And MaxPax still hoping for more. He's hoping for a little bit more. Getting over. Does rotate in towards that main. Oh. Clem's in position with 2 of those tanks. Auto turret as well. Stalkers, they go for the dive. And they will not get the Raven. Raven does survive. Takes some extra hits. Likewise, second auto turret. Stalkers, they get punished. Oof. Brutal losses here from MaxPax. Leaving out 3 Stalkers. Oh, true, that reminds me of the losses that MaxPax had last game. True. Clem wasn't able to necessarily capitalize on as much. And with that, MaxPax, his goal here is to contain. Just contain his opponent. Stim is now done. We're built up here on additional Raxes. Do you see what I see? No add-ons. No add-ons on those 2 extra Raxes. No third TC. Clem, he's committing on 2 bases. Yeah, he is committing. He doesn't pull the boys, but very committed nonetheless. Clem, he breaks out and he's not going to stop. He's not going to stop. He's sending everything across the map. As he moves out, here comes that Prism. Here come the Zealots. Delaying reinforcements, so nice counterattack here from MaxPax. Clem, he's all in. Clem, he's all in at this point. It's all or nothing. More reinforcements getting caught. Makes his way here into the natural. The robot's exposed. Nice force fields delaying the push. Charge's coming, but the robot's going to go down. The Immortal does pop out just in time. He gets the Immortal. The Immortal pops out. MaxPax going into the main. Here come the reinforcements. The SCVs are falling. And again, the longer this goes on, the better it is for MaxPax, as Clem has no follow-up. He does pull away. Tanks are exposed. They're getting 1 tank, getting a second. Clem being dragged, just being pulled apart. Second tank falls. Yeah, 1 tank left. Down to 1. That's still a lot of Marines, a lot of Marauders. Rotates towards the third. He wants that Immortal. He does want it. He's going to get it as well. Immortal goes down. Second Immortal comes out to low ground. Also targeted down. Ay, ay, ay. Yeah, MaxPax just getting torn apart here. Another Prisoner! Prism goes down. GG gets called. And Clem, he will snowball out of control. Pops off with a 2-base all-in and takes a 2-1 lead. Whew. GG. GG, well played. We spoke about how aggressive you can be on Arrow Home. There are certain defensive positions like those ramps, of course, but we saw that Clem, he was able to just break out, just send it across the map. I really did appreciate those Zealot counterattacks. They were delaying reinforcements, they were buying time, that is true, but sniping that robot was brutal. Sniping the robot means no more Immortals. There were only 2 Immortals to defend. Without that robot, no more reinforcements. That position was broken, and despite the surround, Clem, he just had too much to handle there. GG. GG, well played. Whew, that leads us from the smallest map in the map pool to the largest map. That leads us into Hellscape. Let's go. Let us go. Happens to me all the time, it's instant death. As a reminder, again, that was specifically a 2-base all-in. Clem, he chose not to get a 3rd TC. He threw down a 4th and 5th Rax, didn't get any add-ons on them. He had no longevity in that game. It was just all or nothing. All or nothing there for Clem. but again, very map specific, as that's the only time we've seen him go for a 2-base all-in, and it was on the smallest map, which makes sense. But now we go into the largest map, as spawning in the top right-hand corner of a Hellscape, we have the red Protoss player from the land of Denmark, representing Storm Gaming. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the bottom left-hand corner, we have his opponents. We have the blue Terran player from the land of France, representing Team Liquid. One game away from claiming the series. It is Clem. Here we go. Now again, we were featuring this map previously in the upper semifinals, but this is the largest map in this tournament map pool. We have some, again, long rushes by ground, some open areas here towards the center of the map, some attack paths as well. We have our 3rd base, 4th base, 5th base, all relatively secure with their choke points, but they have no ramps. That's the important part here, is that there are a lot of avenues of attack to try to punish these expansions. So even though it's a large map, even though there are a lot of bases to expand to, because of all these attack paths, that does allow the aggressing player to try to break their opponents. Again, just to re-emphasize this once again, this is kind of like the mantra or the kind of go-to style of modern large maps, as opposed to Abyssal Reef, King's Cove, and Neon Violet Square, where they have very large defensive turtley maps, which all just compounds upon each other, which is why we get a lot of late game on those maps. Here, despite the map being large, there are ways to try to punish a player and try to break a player instead of just allowing them to turtle up. So there is that give and take. Here we go. We do see Clem, despite that, going double gas. Double gas opener from Clem, going for a delayed TC, faster factory. From the side of MaxPax, wouldn't be surprised to see even 2-gate blink into a 3rd base. Every game so far, MaxPax is going for the same build, for the same opener. He has gone 3-gate blink into a 3rd. Here, he could be a little bit greedier, but based on the opener, I mean, he might be deterred from that. MaxPax is settling in. Reaper is deflected. Twilight Council opener out of MaxPax once again. No Stargate. Not here. If you're proxy on top of the logos on the map, is it production placement then? Ahí está. God damn. God damn. Clem does poke in. This time does not open up Reacted Reaper. First Reaper goes down. Just the one. Trading 1 for 1. 1-to-1 trade. Like Western Adept does chase down the 2nd Reaper. Not bad. Does bring it down. Nice clean up at a MaxPax. Clem, he goes to the dive. Gets 1 probe. And Clem, he will scout the tech. Does confirm the Twilight Council. So nice scout here from Clem. I'm sure he wanted a little bit more economic damage, but alas, is cleaned up. And back at home, settling into his own follow-up here. Safety Cyclone, going for the Tech Lab. From here, most likely into Tank Raven. The early Cyclone is just a bit of a safer way to open up. As I just realized, this main base is so small compared to some of the other maps we've seen so far. It's a much smaller main. Likewise, the high ground location here does not cover the ramp. True. So smaller main and less defendable natural. You can see Clem just walling up here, walling off. Getting ready for those Blink Stalkers. And we spoke about 2-gate blink earlier. It is 2-gate blink. Let's go! 2-gate blink into a 3rd. Very economic build here by MaxPax. For the first time this series, MaxPax, he does deviate. He does deviate, does go for a more greedy build this time. Which means Clem, he's getting ready for a push that isn't really coming. And Clem, I believe, doesn't know. Okay, doesn't know. He's unaware. We have charge on the way as a follow-up. Now we have the additional gateways. MaxPax, he'll be able to saturate that 3rd base that much faster. And we'll see when Clem can break out. as he's just going to be now starting Stim. Again, still being hyper defensive. So coming into the mid game here, I would say that MaxPax is in a better position. Oh, catching at the observer. Nice snap on the observer. We'll see how greedy MaxPax is going to be. Technically, MaxPax, he could go into a faster Bay, into faster Colossus production, but for now, he's being a little bit more tempered here. Getting to +1, charge, extra gateways, no Colossus transition yet. He'll get there eventually. And there it is. The Bay is now on the way after the third base gets saturated. So after full saturation, now he gets his Bay. Stim still not done here for Clem. And again, even with this Stim timing, yeah, this time third CC, you can already see the start. You can see how congested the main is. Jeez, it's such a jam-packed main. But you can see the difference here compared to the last game, where, just as a reminder, last game we did have a 4th and 5th racks, and it was just a 2-base all-in. Here, no extra racks, is going for the CC before that production explosion. So we're getting in towards the mid game here. Dreams MaxPax, he's safe. He's safe and sound. He's on proper 3-base saturation. Now taking extra gas geyser. Now starting up Colossus production. Going for a 5th base as well. MaxPax looking very comfortable here on Hellscape. And you can just see how the dynamic is so different from a large map to a smaller map, right? With Whispers of Gold and Air Home, with Clem being hyper aggressive and constant drop play, move outs, and timings. Here instead, Clem stuck at home. He's just stuck at home, stuck defending, most likely going to be stuck defending his 3rd base as well. And MaxPax is free to expand. Here comes the 4th. Getting into his 4th expansion. Now Clem can break out. Now he finally has Stim. And we'll see how how MaxPax can slow this down. Chipping away at the bio. Does have a Colossus. Clem, he does commit across the map. He's not stopping. Shows those force fields. Ramp is quite wide. Nice catch here on the bio. Marines go down. MaxPax, he holds on to those force fields. The tanks are exposed. The tank's gonna fall. He gets 1, he gets 2. Just barely 1. Hop pick up. Hop pick up there by Clem. Sentry goes down. Nice Widowmine shots. And MaxPax holds. MaxPax, he does hold on. Forces Clem back. Behind this, Zealot counterattack takes down the bunker. And Clem has to get the hell out of here. Again, big losses for Clem. And GG gets caught, he gets surrounded, gets overwhelmed. And MaxPax, he will punish the move out. And we are going to the ace match. Whew, GG. GG, well played. I'll be honest, I was surprised that Clem moved out as heavily as he did. If you remember, coming in towards the mid game, I was like, oh no, yeah, Clem, so he's going to get his 3rd base, he's going to defend his 3rd as well, he's going to be stuck at home. He decided to push, and we saw the map come into play here. Very long rush distance by ground. MaxPax had plenty of time to warp in extra Zealots to get his Colossus ready, of course. Remember, he went for the greedy opener into the Bay, into the faster charge, into +1, all coming into play, and MaxPax just picked Clem apart. Clem did overextend there, and with that, we're going to the ace match. It all ends here. It all ends in game 5. Let's go. Loading into another large map. Loading into Amygdala. Let's go. We are getting into Amygdala here. Now, Amygdala is a large map, but also have some quirky features. We'll get into it, and of course, I'm sure our players are much more familiar with this map as well, as spawning in the bottom left-hand corner of Amygdala, we have the Danish Protoss player, the Red Protoss, representing Sidestorm Gaming, forcing the ace match. Bouncing back here, we'll see if we can go all the way. It is MaxPax. And spawning in the top right-hand corner, we have the French Terran player, the Blue Terran representing Team Liquid. It is Clem. Here we go. Now, Amygdala is a bit of an oddity here because it is a large map. That is true. It's a very large map in the map pool. The rush distance by ground is quite long. but at the same time, unlike the previous map, for example, unlike Hellscape, the center of the map is closed off. The center of the map is completely closed off, so there are less avenues of attack. It is more enclosed. It is more limited with... Oh no, Rex, no! Shout out to Rex, by the way. Shout out to the Rex. Less than three. Of course, yeah. Did recover. But Rex, of course, he is the organizer of the event. That's why the event is called the Rex March Madness. Much love to Rex, much love. As we get to the ace match back up and running. But the attack paths are quite limited. We have the northern attack path here that is covered by the Zelnaga, and we have the southern attack path as well, also covered by another Zelnaga. Now, the map does open up coming into the mid to late game. Once we get into 4-base saturation, then at around 8 minutes, of course, the giant tumors do expire, and you can start knocking down these rocks and opening up the map. But until then, it can be quite difficult to actually push without being scattered, without being slowed down. Now, it is a bit of a give and take. Unlike the previous map where Clem got surrounded, here that wouldn't really happen just because you can't really come in for a flank, you can't really surround because of all these rocks. But again, like the main pushes here are scouted and seen and telegraphed a lot sooner as well. So we'll see how our players do open up. For now, double gas into a faster factory here from Clem. MaxPax going gate, Cybercore into expansion. Now we'll see if MaxPax once again goes 2 gate into a third. He could go for another, oh my god, never mind! Stargate opener. Now I was leaning towards Stargate play on Hellscape. Now Stargate openers are rare, but we see them more often and more frequently on these larger maps. So if we load into Neon Violet Square, Abyssal Reef, King's Cove, Amygdala, Hellscape, these are maps where it is more viable to open up Stargate. So for the first time this series, Stargate opener. Let's go. Now the reason why you see Stargate openers more often and more frequently on larger maps is because of how hard it can be or how easy or how vulnerable you are in the early game. Basically, if Clem were to scout this ahead of time, he can open up Cyclone, go for an early medevac, go for a tank drop across the map, and just kill the Protoss. Stargate openers, they do limit the amount of gateway units you have on the ground. In general, you just have a smaller army, so it can be much more difficult to defend against early game aggression. On larger maps, it's different because the rush distance is longer and aggression is deterred. So it is more viable to open Stargate. So this could be Stargate open it into Oracle, into a delayed Twilight Council from the side of MaxPax. Meanwhile, Cloak Banshee out of Clem. Oh boy. Is opening up Cloak Banshee. Now, thankfully, because of the Oracle opener, there is going to be detection. There's no Robo, but there's going to be revelations. Assuming the Oracle doesn't die. True. I am making that assumption. So hopefully the Oracle does survive, and then we can use those revelations back at home. But now the Oracle dips in. I mean, the Oracle gets a full scout. Nicely done. The Oracle dips in and confirms sees the Banshee, confirms the research, is fully aware of the Cloak Banshee. Let's go. With that back at home, Phoenix production has begun, going into charge. Now, the reasoning for this is Phoenixes and Blink Stalkers, they have the same role. They have the same role. The role is to shut down drop play and deter aggression and to contain the opponent. So, oh, actually, we are going for both. I was about to say that you don't often invest into both, but here that is the case. This tells us that most likely we're not making any more Phoenixes. Yeah, just the one. Just the one Phoenix. If we were going proper, like Phoenix opener, getting up to 4, 5, 6 Phoenixes, charge would make more sense. It looks like MaxPax did change his mind. Just making the one. Now, Blink is going to be delayed. It is later than usual, just because of the Stargate opener. That is true. Meanwhile, the Banshee is staying back at home, and Cloak was cancelled. This makes sense. So, Clem, he knows he got scouted. He knows that these Banshees most likely aren't going to get any damage done, so he cancels Cloak and he keeps the Banshee at home. And as a result, I mean, hey, he forced out a Phoenix, right? Like, this Phoenix, the only reason there's a Phoenix is because of the Banshee, so he doesn't attack, and now the Phoenix is a bit of a waste here. So he does force some inefficiencies out of MaxPax. You can see he's looking for the Banshee. A Banshee that does exist, but is back at home. You know, MaxPax moving out, getting his third up and running. Clem, meanwhile, just preparing back at home, walling up, getting into stim. We have our tank in the main base, likewise tank at the natural. And we'll see if MaxPax tries to break any of these locations. There is a lot in the main though to defend, so I'm hoping he doesn't blindly blink in, but he's going for it. There we go, sees the tank, sees the bio, blinks forward. Can he go for stim? He goes for the tank. And nice lift on the tank, Raven responds. Tank is going to be targeted and it barely goes down, nice pickoff. Does snipe the tank. And so far this was worth it. Oof. As it was two stalkers for 4 marines and a tank. That is well worth it here for MaxPax. A lot of the stalkers are very low, they're very low on HP, but they survive. Do survive. Do you see what I see? I see 2 more Maxes. I see the same build that we saw in Erahome. 2 more Maxes, no add-ons, no third TC. They're hidden here at the natural. This looks like a 2-base all-in. Bold move. Bold move. I mean, on a large map, okay, couple things. First things first, remember, Stargate opener. So the Protoss player here at MaxPax is already vulnerable to a 2-base all-in just because of the delayed tech and the delayed everything because of the Stargate. 4th base on the way, throwing down stasis traps. Up! First stasis does go up. Massive connection! Yeah, brutal connection here, and Clem is being delayed. He's being delayed. MaxPax is buying time. Feast goes down. And every second counts here. MaxPax, he's still a ways away from the Colossus. And Clem, it's all or nothing. Doesn't pull the boys, but is all in. Again, this is the same build that we saw on Erahome. And I do think he can break the 4th, but can he go further than that? The charge is not done. The slow lots! Charge just began! Yeah, charge is being chronoed as we speak. Ay, ay, ay. The base falls. And Clem, he's not done. Remember, he's not content with the 4th. He wants to go for the kill. He's going for the throats. It's all or nothing for Clem. It takes down the Oracle. The slow lots are amassing, but they're slow. They can't speed along. Yeah, the next is going to fall as well. And Clem, he takes down the 4th, takes down the 3rd, and he's going for the natural. Again, he's going for the kill. This is still pretty good damage here, but he wants more. As charge, it's not going to finish. It's not going to finish in time. There is going to be the Colossus. Nice force fields. Very nice force fields. The boys, they run into the army. 14 probes go down. Oh, massive stasis. Oh my god. The stasis traps. Likewise, catching reinforcements. The slow lots. Let's go. God, they're so slow. Meanwhile, Colossus breaks out. Again, this stasis trap may just allow MaxPax to take this game. He's holding. MaxPax, he's barely holding on, but the Zealots go down. The Colossus is exposed. Second Colossus on the way. And Clem, he backs off. Clem, he backs off. MaxPax, he survives, but at what cost? At the cost of 2 bases, 2 expansions. At the cost of how many workers? 16. Uh-oh. Oh, that Colossus is still looking very exposed. Second Colossus is about to pop out. There's that second Colossi. For a moment, I was like, oh, is that a run by? Not quite. It's the probes. It survived. Prism coming in from behind. CC is done. Or, sorry, CC is now on the way. So a very late command center here for Clem. Remember, he was all in, and now he's trying to transition out of this. Clem, upon seeing these Colossus, he believes he cannot break this. He cannot break this location. If it wasn't for the stasis trap, 100% MaxPax would be dead. He'd already be dead by now. Like, the game would be over. But the stasis is keeping him alive. Zealot drop into the main, SCVs are going down, delay on the 3rd CC, massive damage, 9 SCV kills, and look at the worker count. Remember, Clem was all in, that's why Clem is down to 38 SCVs, he barely has an economy. The supply does lie. Right now, the army supply is heavily in favor of Clem, that is true, but it means nothing if he doesn't make use of the army. Like, he has to be active, he has to be aggressive. And now there's 3 Colossus. Storm is on the way, halfway done. Again, the stasis traps with the MVPs. Clem going for the Doom Drop. Uh-oh. Not much anti-air, only 2 stalkers. MaxPax, he does spot this. Does force the unload. Again, this is just buying more time. This is just buying more time. Clem, he scans, sees the 3rd. Now Clem, he can still deny that expansion. For now, getting caught out. Zealots, they delay the CC once again. But Clem, the reality is with this large army, he should not allow this third base to get up. He should not allow it to get up and running. Clem is pushing. MaxPax, he rotates. Storm is going to be ready. And Clem is going for a double-pronged attack here. Storm zones. One-Eye Templar goes down. And brutal loss. Brutal loss there for MaxPax. Storm zones away once again, but we're running out of storms. Yeah, Clem, he may just have too much anyway. He will overwhelm. Takes down the third, goes in between the bases, Colossus out of position. Whew. And despite MaxPax surviving against the initial 2-base all-in, he still cannot recover. MaxPax, he can still not recover. The third base goes down. Clem, he's going in for the kill. He's going for the throat. And it was impressive that MaxPax survived this long, but GG gets called, and Clem, he will take the series 3-2. GG. Whew. GG, well played. We do see Clem does claim the series. MaxPax, he fought very well, very hard in this game. It was very unexpected to see Clem go for the 2-base all-in here on Amygdala, but we saw that he did catch MaxPax with his pants down. Again, MaxPax, he was getting a 4th expansion, big delay on charge as well. MaxPax, he was trying to defend with slow lots for so long. MaxPax, he was caught with his pants down, and which is why it was impressive that he survived. Very impressive that he survived, but there was no way for him to really recover from there. Clem, just too much of a lead. GG. GG, well played. Whew. Clem does claim it. And with that, we have our 2 finalists. We have our 2 finalists here. It is going to be a TvP, Terran versus Protoss, between Clem and Hero. Let's go. Let's go. Meanwhile, big shout out to Nikit. Big shout out to Nikita in the chat. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for the Twitch Prime. Do appreciate it. Do appreciate the support for 7 months, over half a year of support. Thank you. Thank you so much for that. I hope you enjoy the content. Hope you enjoy the casting. Hope you enjoy the StarCraft. As we have our grand finals here, it's going to be a best of 7 between Clem and Hero. Again, these two are very well practiced with each other. It is very often that we see finals between Hero and Clem in the open cups, whether it's WarTV Monday, Monday Night Weeklies, Pegasaur Mondays as well. These two, they play so often, and now they play again. Oh boy. And we'll see which way this or how this does turn out this time. We'll see who can claim this best of 7. Now, they do face often, but they often face in shorter series, whether it's best of 3s or best of 5s. Best of 7s, a little bit more of a rarity. A little bit. As they also face off in the Pigsty Festival. True. And did face off in the recent Pigsty Festival as well. But we do need some time to set up. So we're going to be going on a short break. We are, in a way, I guess 2/3 of the way through the broadcast. We just wrapped up with our first 2 series. We're going to be going on a short break, and when we come back, we will have the grand finals. We'll have Hero and Clem facing off in that best of 7. See you guys after the break. Take this time to get some snacks, get some food, get some water, drain your disruptors, massage your marines, hydrate all of your hydras, and we'll see you guys soon in a couple of minutes. See you soon.